Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that if he wants his spoiled brat of a daughter to come over for Christmas, he can cook? Am I the a-hole for telling my future mother-in-law I don't want her engagement ring to be passed down to me? Am I the a-hole for getting mad at my mom because she keeps inviting my ex-girlfriend over to sleep here? Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that if he wants his spoiled brat of a daughter to come over for Christmas, he can cook? My husband Rob and I married later in life, and each have one daughter from a previous relationship. I'm going to refer to my stepdaughter as Maggie. To be 100% honest, I would not have even considered marrying Rob if Maggie had been underage. She is extremely difficult. I blame Rob and his ex for a lot of it, but some of it seems beyond anyone's control. She has never worked a day in her life. She was never held accountable for being a mean girl in school, and even as an adult, she throws tantrums. I have seen her throw herself to the ground, cry until she can't breathe. Her husband responds by treating her like an actual toddler, tickling, rocking. It is very weird. She is 35 now, has two kids, but they're aware of her privilege. She is unhealthily obsessed with her husband, and calls Rob during the day despite him still working full-time, and demands attention because she just doesn't know what to do with herself when her husband is at work. I'm not trying to be some wicked stepmother, but this woman is annoying. Last Christmas, I made her a homemade sweater and she loved it. She picked the colors and design, and she found out my daughter had the same one in a different color and cried and accused me of wanting to humiliate her. She constantly is smug about what her husband buys her and tries to imply that my daughter is poor, despite my son-in-law making excellent money. When anyone else is getting attention, she bounces around, clings to her husband, or causes some scene to put when I ask her to help me in the kitchen. She threw a fit, despite liking to cook, because she didn't want to be in the kitchen with me, my daughter, my sister, and my niece, because she thinks we talk shit about her. Which I think really translates to she made a fool of herself trying to upstage my daughter at her wedding, and my family witnessed that. Anyway, she normally does Christmas at her house. I don't go because I want to spend Christmas with my daughter and because Maggie is a lot. Maggie isn't hosting this year because of a minor surgery, ruptured breast implant. But she doesn't want to do all that cooking, which is fine, but Rob wants me to host this year and invite both of our daughters, and he cites that my daughter just had a baby and shouldn't have to cook either. I was going to go to her house and cook. I said I don't really feel like spending Christmas with Maggie because of her behavior and my daughter should relax, which is impossible with Maggie bouncing off the walls and talking a mile a minute. He accused me of just not liking his daughter. I said if he wants to host Maggie and her husband, he can cook. He can't, and I will go to my daughters like planned. He thinks I'm being unfair because it is Christmas and she is his only blood family, and he feels I would be angry if he did the same with my daughter. Am I the a-hole for telling my future mother-in-law I don't want her engagement ring to be passed down to me? I, female 26, have been with my boyfriend Adam, male 30, for 4 years. I'm not too close to his family but was close to my former sister-in-law, brother-in-law's now ex-wife. My future mother-in-law gave her engagement ring to my brother-in-law to propose to sister-in-law with 3 years ago. It's an important tradition in the family to pass down the ring, and since they have no daughters, sisters, then the ring went to brother-in-law's ex-wife. After the separation, my brother-in-law got the ring back and decided to focus on his kids. Now, since everyone knows that Adam and I are planning to make our relationship official and pursue marriage, which is our goal, his mother suggested he propose with her engagement ring that my brother-in-law already proposed with to his now ex as mentioned above. Adam was excited with the idea, but I was uncomfortable, slowly by the fact that this ring was proposed with more than once and also belonged to my former sister-in-law for years and she had memories attached to it. I feel like this ring already had more than one love story, and I feel I have the right to wear a ring that represents a relationship, and one that mother-in-law wasn't happy with my opinion and invited me to the church where she hangs out most of the time to talk and explain that it's a must for Adam as the youngest to carry the tradition and propose with this ring, and it was disrespectful of me to not want it or have an issue with it since it's of high sentimental value. I explained why I had an issue with it, but she implied I clearly wanted a more shiny and expensive one. After basically shaming and wearing me down for hours about it, I flat out told her that it is between me and Adam, but he agreed with her and said my logic don't make sense and asked if I'd refuse to buy an apartment just because someone else owned it. But an apartment is different than an engagement, which is in my opinion. Should be a symbol of our love, but my statement was met with, I don't get it. You really think a ring is more important than us being on the same page and understanding each other? Besides, that's what my mom wants, and be completely honest with you here, I'm just trying to keep the peace and stay on her good side, which what you should be doing too right now instead of already starting an unnecessary drama and setting a bad tone for your relationship with mom. I asked why he thought his mom's opinion was equal or more important than mine, and he got offended and said I was insulting his mom and he won't let me do that next time. He refused to discuss it any further, saying this was a ridiculous hill for me to choose to die on and should be honored to be given the opportunity to hold on to something as valuable as his mom's engagement ring. Am I the a-hole for getting mad at my mom because she keeps inviting my ex-girlfriend over to sleep here? So I, 19 male, just got out of an almost 3-year-long relationship with my now ex-girlfriend, 19 female. The breakup hasn't been too toxic. We both agreed to try and be friends and still do some things together and not make it all terrible. 2 weeks ago, my mother invited my ex-girlfriend over to help her with some chores since my ex-girlfriend always enjoyed helping my mother clean. Once it's around 11 p.m., my mom says to me that my ex will stay because it's too late at night for her to drive home by herself. I'm fine with it mostly, but my ex-girlfriend wants to sleep in my bed with me. Since this is my ex-girlfriend, I assume this to be the last time that she would sleep over with me. I told my mom that this isn't good for her since she's having trouble letting go of me and that she starts drama when she is here, and I don't really want to deal with it any more than I have. Last night, my ex-girlfriend came over because I agreed I was gonna build a PC for her sister, so she bought the parts and I built it. After a few hours of just hanging around, my mom tells me she's gonna stay the night. I ask my mom why she's staying the night and my mom just says, if you don't want her in your room, tell her she can sleep on the couch. A little bit after that, my ex-girlfriend is in my room and tries to cuddle with me, and that was when I told her that she should sleep on the couch, and I don't think this is good for us. It's one thing to hang out, but it's a whole different thing to cuddle and sleep. My ex-girlfriend got upset with me and went home. I sent a text to my mom saying exactly this. I'm not sure why you think you can just do this when you know it toys with her heart and that I can't fix anything, so I don't want to deal with this right now. This was fucked up of you and I'm not having it anymore. Good night. Shortly after the text, my mom comes in my room telling me that I have no compassion and I'm a cold-hearted a-hole. Am I the a-hole? I was trying to have this relationship end as good as possible, but here we are. I have not been angry at anyone or insulted anyone. I've been trying to be cool with my ex-girlfriend, but she has been getting toxic, and I don't think it's cool for us to hang out anymore. But my mom insists that I need to let her sleep here. Does it make sense? If I'm the a-hole, I'll admit it. Thank you all in advance.